Hi, this is Dan and Lexi from Dan Schultz Outdoors, reminding you to keep the adventures alive.
Hey y'all, I'm Johnny.
And I'm Colleen. And we're the Keel Quest. And we want you to keep the adventures alive. Cheers.
Hey, this is Darren from Ride Paddle Repeat, encouraging you to keep the adventures alive.
This is David from Beachley Ironworks saying keep the adventures alive.
Hey, Kevin with an A here. Keep the adventure alive.
Hi, I'm Dan Mayotte. Keep the adventures alive.
Hi, I'm Kevin Collin, the Happy Camper. Remember, keep the adventures alive. Awesome!
Woo, buddy! Shug here! Keep the adventures alive. I am.
Ethan here, the Avid Outdoorsy Guy, reminding you to keep the adventures alive.
We're John and Aaron.
Keep the adventures alive.
Hey everyone, it's Kylan from Lure of the North, and I encourage you to keep the adventures alive.
This is Sky North telling you, keep the adventures alive. And now on with the show.
Hey, happy Tuesday evening, everybody. Hope everybody's had a great week. Welcome to Canoe Hounds Outdoor Adventure Show, a show that brings you a lot closer to the great outdoors. My name is Dennis, also known as Canoe Hound. Let's get our branding up on screen so that everybody can remember my name. Yeah, and our guest name tonight, of course. If this is your first time tuning into the show, remember we are here live every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Mark it on your calendars, or better yet, hit that subscribe button, and you'll always be in tune with what's going on. You can also check us out on Facebook at Canoe Hounds Outdoor Adventure Show so that you know exactly what is going on with the show, who we will be having on as guests, and a whole bunch of other cool things like that. While we're waiting for the chat over there to populate tonight with all of our good friendlies, I just want to go over a few updates and some news pertaining to the show and things like that. Hope everyone had a chance last week to check out the show. We had Ben Stacy and Sean Rowley from Paddling Adventures Radio on the show, and we were talking about Ben Stacy's program that he has on Bell 51 TV, show called Get Outside a Paddling Adventure. Basically, it's I believe it's a 7 or 8 episode series. Really cool. They did a trip up the Trent Severn Waterway system here in Ontario last summer. Turned it into a really cool TV show, and we talked a lot about that. Talked a lot about a lot of the things that went on with their adventure, some of the people that they come across, and all the walks that they traveled to. It was a really interesting show. So if you haven't already done so, if you haven't seen the series, it's going to be a little while before it's on YouTube because it's still by going through the rights of Bell 5 TV. So they got to make sure that they do their thing first. But it will eventually, I'm sure, make it to YouTube, or you know what? Better yet, find a friend that has Bell service and have a watch party with them after COVID. Okay, so that's a cool thing. Anyways, the winner from last week's show was Dave Wellington. Congratulations to Dave, who submitted his answer by mail, and we drew that on Saturday. I've notified Dave. He's got me his information, and your prize is in the mail, Dave. So keep an eye open for that. Everybody's aware that we launched a couple weeks back. We launched a new website for Canoehound Adventures. That's CANOEHOUND'S.com. Check it out. We've got a few new things on there. We're currently working on a really cool web store on there, so that you can actually buy some really cool Canoehound Adventures and Canoehound's Outdoor Adventure Show swag, keeping the price reasonable and offering free shipping to anybody in Canada. So if you're from the US or another country, drop me an email and I will get you special shipping prices, just because it's hard for me to do. It's just a very juvenile looking shopping experience on there right now. So please do check it out. We got some really cool swag, and we got some new swag coming out very soon. Look at that. We have a Keep the Adventures Alive Canoehound Adventures coffee cup. Really nice, 15 ounce. That'll be on the website very soon. It's a little warm because we got some coffee in there right now for the start of the show. Just want to say to the people in the basement right down there, I see you both down there, and we'll have you up in a moment. Let's see here. Yeah, so I just want to shout out to my channel members, the solo channel members. We've got Sty North, Kevin with an A, Jeremy Walla, Smoking Our Barbecue, and Pam Bookham. And to all my other members, thanks very much for your support of the channel. It's greatly appreciated. We do have a few membership milestones to celebrate tonight. We have, I think 4 members who have been channel members now for a full year, a full 12 months. And that would be Darren at Ride Paddle Repeat. Let's see here. We've got Sty North, Crazy Ann, and Ethan over at Avid Outdoorsy guys. So congratulations to you guys, and thank you very much for your support over the past year. It's greatly appreciated that you put that much into what I like to put out here. So thanks very much, guys and gals. Much appreciated. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, right down there, if you're on YouTube, you'll see a join button. Check it out. There's 3 different levels of membership, ranging from $3.99 to $19.99 a month. Each come with different perks, and they each add up the perks as you go up your levels. And there's all kinds of neat things. For anybody that's in the chat that is a channel member, show everybody some of the cool emojis that we have there that you can use in the chat. That's always fun to use, especially when they're all little camping signs and stuff like that. So feel free to check that out. Special, really quick shout out to my channel supporters as far as like sponsorship type of thing. Backcountry Coffee Company. I haven't got their cup this week. I've got my new Canoehound Adventures cup. But the same great coffee in there. Thanks very much to Kyle over at Backcountry Coffee Company. Our good friends over at Kid Products, makers of the Kid Twig Stove and Reflector Oven. Really cool things. I love my reflector oven, man. I've been having some fun with that already this year. Can't wait to take it on a canoe trip. We've also got Algonquin Outfitters, our friends over at Ursac USA, and Great Signs and Graphics, and then our friends over at Short Hills Beard Company. Thanks very much to you guys for your support. These people don't really pay anything to be on the channel here, but they do supply me with some fantastic swag and prizes that we can give away from time to time, and that's what it's all about, is giving back to you, our viewers, right? So that's cool stuff. Once again, a couple more little things. If you have any hot topics or guests you'd like to see on a show, drop me an email over at canoehound@gmail.com. I would be more than happy to try and make things happen. And as a matter of fact, this week's guest was suggested to me a couple times, but as recently as a few days ago. Thanks to Paul Hoy out there for suggesting that I contact tonight's guest. And I contacted this guy, and he was more than happy to be joining us on the show. So thanks, Paul, for your input. Dreams do come true. Look at that. And lastly, if you have any questions for myself or tonight's guest, put a question in the chat over there. Put the word question in capital letters beforehand so I can more easily see it. I will try to get it up on screen. If I don't, wait until after the 8 o'clock hour when I will invite you to pop up here on screen and ask a question or leave a comment yourself. So that's all cool. We got one more thing that we're going to do here now before we actually get on with our guest. I have a little surprise guest that's going to be on to tell us a little bit about something that she's got going on here starting on May 1st. I just want to welcome to the live stream tonight, and hopefully she's ready down there. We got Tori Baird. How you doing, Tori?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. You made it in just in the skin of your teeth, eh?
Just in the nick of time. I haven't put groceries away yet.
Oh, really? I'll leave that for Jim.
Well, Wesley had an appointment in Aurelia, and so I always take the opportunity to do a big Costco shop while I'm down there. So it's fine. Like, everything's fine. It's in a cooler, but I just thought, just ran in the door. So
yeah,
just in the nick of time.
Cool. So I just want to let everybody know I reached out to Tori here like this week because she's got something going on. It's something that's very important to her, and something that I feel strongly about as well because it's something that needs some attention. So I'm going to let you tell everybody what's going on, what you got in the works for your son, Wesley.
Sure. I don't know how much info you want specifically in regards to his syndrome. I can kind of just do a brief overview. I don't know how many people who are watching are aware, but he has my son Wesley is almost 3, turning 3 in July. He has a syndrome called FOXG1. So it's a neurological disorder. Causes a laundry list of symptoms, specifically in Wesley's case, severe developmental delay. So, he's almost 3, he's not walking, talking, crawling. He can't sit up on his own, can't feed himself. So, no effective use of hands and then epilepsy. So he has seizures, which luckily for Wesley is completely controlled with medication. He has had breakthrough seizures, I think 5 times now, but like I said, he's controlled. A lot of FOXG1 kids do have a more severe epilepsy. And the FOXG1 gene, it plays a role in autism, Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, and epilepsy. So it is just one gene, and they are working towards basically finding a cure. It produces from what I understand, I am by no means a scientist, but from what I understand, it continuously produces a protein. And so if they can figure out a way to produce that protein and introduce it, they could very well find a cure or at least some treatments for these kids with FOXG1. So we are basically raising money to go towards FOXG1 research. So it does feel like there is a little bit of hope. We are, our community, I guess, our scientists work closely with scientists from other disorders. So Angelman syndrome is another one, which actually, when we were first searching for a diagnosis for Wesley, they actually tested him specifically for Angelman syndrome, just based on the symptoms that he was having. So it presents similar symptoms as well as Rett syndrome. And so specifically in the Angelman syndrome, they've actually found a way to do gene replacement in their mice models. And it's shown significant improvement in their development for their cognitive and motor development for adult and babies. So that means it's good news because it means you can do this gene replacement therapy at any stage in life and still see improvements. So, that's Angelman syndrome. That's not yet FOXG1, but that does kind of give us hope because that's another neurodevelopmental disorder. So, yeah.
One step closer, right?
Yeah. Like it makes us feel like, oh, there is a chance here. And so they're actually working towards doing human clinical trials within a year. So wow, that's huge news. We keep getting updates on what's going on with, gene therapies and things like that. So, we just like to remain hopeful. And that's why I'm super adamant about just awareness and trying to raise money for the research, because if they can get, the right scientists, the right equipment, the right whatever they need. Like I said, I'm not a scientist, but if they can get the money to fund it, then, we may find a cure. And one of the lead scientists on the team, his daughter actually has FOXG1, which is crazy. But all the more hopeful because he has a vested interest in actually finding a cure. So we know that the funds are going to good use for sure. So
Can I ask, Tori, how rare is this syndrome?
There's about 700 people in the world diagnosed with it.
No
right
kidding.
now.
Oh,
Yeah. So, but it's a fairly recent like discovery, I guess. I mean, they discovered the gene about 10 years ago. So there very well could be many more people. Like I said, there are a lot of syndromes that have similar symptoms. So they may have been misdiagnosed just based on symptoms. So they may have gone through testing, not found any real answer, and just said, well, you know, they have autism, or they have, you know, Angelman syndrome, Rett syndrome. There's so many different things depending on the severity of their symptoms, of course. So there could be like 40, 50-year-olds who just, they're not testing anymore. They just are delayed developmentally, and that's that. So it is important for people to get the proper diagnosis, of course, because obviously the more people who fall under the FOXG1 category, the more awareness there is, and, you know, the proper information that they can have, and then the more information scientists can have, because they, you know, they like to collect information on everyone with FOXG1 and kind of go towards all their studies and stuff like that. So
sure thing. So what is it you have going on? You mentioned that you're trying to raise some funds towards research. I'll let you tell it, and I got to pop something on screen while you're actually telling it.
Oh yeah, okay, perfect.
Yes.
That's cool. So Camp for a Cure. My initial goal was to have like a weekend long outdoor event with like silent auctions, raffles, outdoor games, you know, competitions and stuff like that, food, all sorts of things, live music. And of course, COVID kind of put that to a stop, but that's okay. So this year, it doesn't look like I can do that again either. So I put together an online auction and just collecting donations from local companies and whoever has an item that they would like to donate, which we've actually collected some pretty awesome stuff. It's really, really exciting to see. Like, it's really incredible to see the things that people are wanting to donate to the cause. And so, yeah, you can see Dennis scrolling through there. We've got tons of like swag, so cool, like sweaters, t-shirts, and things like that. We've got a lot of outdoor gear. We have saws and tarps, and someone just donated, Kirkwood Traditional Archery just donated a longbow.
I've seen that.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, we've got so many cool things from so many awesome businesses. I think Bear Essentials just donated a saw. My sister just took over the account for me because I've got a few things going on right now that are kind of keeping me a little busy. But so she's been posting the last few things, but so incredible. All of these items. We've got a wood stove, a lot of like handmade items. So like that charcuterie board and cutting board and things like that. Yeah, so it's really awesome. The bidding starts May 1st. It's going to end May 6th. At 8 p.m. I did post the rules on how to bid and hopefully it makes sense. But of course, if anyone has any questions, please message us and we'll be happy to help.
All bidding is done right through Instagram, correct?
Yeah, so you're just commenting your bid. If someone has bid before you and you're outbidding them, you tag them in a comment and put your bid. Just so that they're aware that they've been outbid. And again, it's going to go until Thursday, May 6th at 8 p.m. If something in particular has a really close bidding war going on, we will allow the bidding to kind of continue. If two people are like really fighting over it down to the last minute, we'll let them kind of bid back and forth past 8 o'clock until one bid stands for a full 5 minutes, and then that'll be the winning bid, basically. So I don't know if there will be a lot of that going on necessarily, but just kind of giving an option, because I know there's going to be some popular items on there. So yeah, and so if you are the winning bidder, you go to this website, GoFundMe, make your donation there and screen capture it. Put your name as your Instagram handle and screen capture it that you've made your donation. And then you're going to send that screen capture directly to the donor who will be listed on the item that you've bid for. And they'll ship it right to you. Some of them I have here with me, so I'll be shipping them out. So I do indicate that on some of the items. So if you see to message Camp for a Cure directly, then you can just message us there.
Very cool.
But yeah,
sounds like you're going to have your hands full just trying to keep this all straight and organized. But I think it'll work out quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be interesting. I saw one similar, and so I kind of thought that was a really good idea. And it was kind of a good time for it because I figure, well, hopefully if things open back up soon and we can get out camping, there's some good camping gear on there. It's kind of right in time for summer. And, so hopefully everyone can find something in there that they're interested in. There's a range of things, you don't have to go in there and spend a ton of money either. Like some things are, $20. So, and again, it's an auction. So the starting bid is obviously lower than that. So, there's a few cool things in there. There's lots of cool things in there. So, yeah.
Even something sweet for the people like me with a sweet tooth, right? So.
Yeah, there's a few desserts in there.
Yeah. If I may add, I've given something for this, and I'll go on the record as to say that anybody who bids on mine, there's a T-shirt and a hat in there. I'll give you any choice of any hat, any color of the hats I have, as well as the shirt. I'll give you a choice of size and color, and if it goes for full value, I'll throw another $50 in to the charity or to the cause. Okay, so I'm putting a challenge out there to all my followers here on YouTube that if we hit the full value of my prize on there, I will also throw in another $50 to the Fox G1 research. So,
wow, that's amazing! Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your donation.
No problem. You know what? It's really cool, Tori, to see the entire community, our community, come together.
It's incredible,
and share this type of thing, right? It's what we do, right? It's what we do.
Amazing.
Yes,
it's so amazing. Yeah, I'm so appreciative of all the support and just seeing people share it, even, and wanting to bring more attention to it and stuff like that is awesome. I'm so appreciative of all the support from the people who have donated, to shared it, to commented, to all of the things. So I think it'll do really well. And I know Fox G1 Research Foundation, who the money is going to, they're following along as well. So they see all the donations and they're keeping up to date. And so, and I'm just super excited. I'm super grateful.
Well, hopefully it works out well for you. And I must say, Wesley is he's a little sweetheart, and he's got a smile to die for. Eh?
I know. I should go get him. He was really grumpy from the car ride.
Yeah, it's okay.
Can I go get him quickly?
Yeah, for sure. I'll just tell everybody else. For anybody that's in the chat tonight, if you take a look at the top corner of the chat, you'll see that I have pinned on there the actual link to the Instagram page where you can actually go and see some of the fantastic things that are up for auction here. You can also make sure that you get in there and drop a few, try and get something on there, man. It's all going to such a great cause. There's no reason why everything on there shouldn't be going for full value, and or even full value plus, because you know what, shipping's included and taxes included. There's no taxes on this stuff. So if you had plans of buying a saw or a tarp or something, you know what, why not do it this way and support a great cause? Hi, Wesley.
Look, Wesley.
Hey, buddy.
He's
got Jim's hair going.
Hey?
He's got Jim's hair going.
He's very tired. He did not nap at all today.
Sounds like he had a big day today.
Yes, he did.
Awesome.
Say thank you. All these people are helping you, Wesley.
Yeah. That's awesome. So is there anything else that you wanted to add then before we move on here?
No, I think that's it. And I really, really appreciate you having me on here. That was very, very nice of you to bring some more awareness to it.
By all means.
Thank
By
you.
all means. I'm happy to do it. Put myself in your shoes, and you know what? It's always nice to know people care, right?
Yes, big time.
Yep, for sure.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Thanks, Tori. Say hi to Jim. Give Wesley a hug for me, and we'll touch base soon. Stick around later on if you want to pop into the green room. Feel free. We'll be done towards the end of the show. So.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
All right. We'll let you get back to business as usual.
Okay.
Talk to you later, Tori. Thanks much.
Okay.
All right, guys and gals. So you know what? That's awesome. Things like that really warm my heart. I'm a family man myself, and you know what? Family makes me warm. It makes me feel good inside. So you know what? It's a great opportunity to support one of our own here in the community, and you know what I mean. Put yourself in their shoes, and you know what? You only want the best for your child, right? So that's all a good thing. So without further ado, let's get on to tonight's topic. He's been very patient, sitting here in the basement waiting for me tonight. This fella that I have on the show tonight is another family man. He's an outdoorsman, and he has a fantastic large group on Facebook called Ontario Backcountry Camping that he started some time ago. Please welcome to the live stream tonight, Sean Pedersen. How you doing, Sean?
Good, Dennis. How you doing?
Good. Wow.
Here we are.
Yeah. So how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've poured myself a Guinness. I'm ready for the evening.
In the green room, you're into the wine out of a mason jar. You made a switch.
I get bored easily, Dennis. So
So Sean, tell us a little bit about yourself. A lot of people might know of you, but they might not know who you are.
I don't know where to start, Dennis.
Well, start with the bio you sent me, because you pretty much explained everything in that bio.
And I'm an English teacher. I write a lot. When I write a lot. So you guys don't really care about like, hey, where I went to school, but so far as this is concerned, I guess everything started for me. Yeah, I grew up of front country camping in Algonquin. My uncle was it's that guy right there. That was really hard to do without looking, but so he was kind of the camper in the family, and my parents went along, and we did a lot of front country camping in Algonquin, kind of in the pop-up trailer kind of thing in the 70s and 80s, and when I was about 10 years old, my uncle invited me and my dad on to a canoe trip. And, this would have been about 88. And this would have been like Bill Mason's heyday. Do you know what I mean? And I think my uncle, he was a corporate guy up in, do you get, the Bank of Montreal building in downtown Toronto? He was kind of working near up at the top there. And he always dreamed about being a wildlife photographer for National Geographic, and Bill Mason got the bug in him, so he started canoe tripping, and he brought me out when I was about 10 years old. And for the first trip, we went to the northwest corner of Algonquin, through North T Lake there, and we ended up going into Bigger. And this was back in the day. My uncle had a 17-foot Grumman, aluminum canoe, and God, I can remember the drive up. Everything was so new. I was 10 years old, and I can remember the mist. That drive through Algonquin and the roads and the cliffs, and God, I can remember that. But it was cold, Dennis, and we got to the campsite, and it was very cold, and it started to snow, and I'm 10 years old, and there's a couple of guys around the campfire, and we just walked around that campfire for 12 hours straight, and it just kept snowing and snowing. And my uncle and my dad and my cousins, they all got drunker and drunker. What else are you gonna do? We saw one guy canoeing by, and in 1988, like, it was different, man. Like, very few people kind of did this kind of a thing. So there was one canoe that went by, and we started throwing snowballs at it. Anything we could do to entertain ourselves while we walked in circles around this campfire. And at 10 years old, I kind of not only was this super cool, because I felt like I was doing something badass. Do you know what I mean? I'm in the snow, I'm camping, I'm in the middle of the wilderness. I'm 10 years old, and my dad and my uncle are drinking like vodka straight from the wineskin, because we used to do the wineskins back then. I remember those. There was no Nalgene bottles back then, and it was a real eye-opening experience for a 10-year-old boy. We were farting and swearing and all the stuff you're not supposed to do, at home. And I came back from that trip, and I was just sold. I was just sold. And so, ever since then, I've it's just kind of taken over my life. My grade seven. Did you have to do like a speech writing contest in grade 7 or 8, Dennis?
Yeah, I remember that kind of stuff. And, I heard you're very good at it.
Yeah, and that was my grade 7 speech, and I gave like the speech on camping and the treasure chest and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. And you sent that to me as your bio. You still hold on to it?
Yeah, sorry, say that again.
You sent that to me as your bio. You held on to it all these years.
I know, and yeah, I'm such a nerd, right? But so anyways, yeah, so it just bit me deep, and we kept going year after year after that. And so I took a little hiatus in university. I kind of had some other things on my mind, but after university, I got back into it, and yeah. So here I am.
Wow.
Here I am.
That's cool. So now you're a married dude. You got a couple kids. The whole family life, right?
Yeah. There it is, right there. Yeah, I got a couple of kids. Beckett and Silas. They're just little guys. They're 4 and 6. Well, 5 and 6 right now, I guess. But yeah, and that's great too, because like it's taking kids out is awesome. Taking kids out is awesome. It really is. It's it can be scary for a lot of people, but man, is it cool. Man, is it cool. Like, you're just downloading this stuff directly right into them. Do you know what I mean? It's so awesome. And their eyes just, I guess I kind of see myself. Do you know what I mean? Like that must have been what I was like when I was little. And I wasn't 5 years old, but I was 10, and it's just really cool. It's really cool. And like, we've raised the kids. We did front country camping their whole lives. Like, as soon as they were born, my wife and I are teachers. So, we're very, very fortunate, and we've got 2 months off in the summer, and we just spend it, in the outdoors as much as possible. So we've kind of raised them in that. And yeah, man, it's just awesome.
You know what? That's going to be a topic for a show in the future that I want to take care of, is introducing your children into the backcountry. It's such an important thing to do at such an early age for them, right? Yeah. After all, like, when they're young like that, they're sponges, right? They just pick it all up, right? And
like, if you do it young enough, like, they become the most resilient little guys. Like. On the Killarney page yesterday, I posted this picture of me and my family up on, everybody's got a picture of them on top of the crack in Killarney. Do you know what I mean? So, but I was going through the pictures last night, and I posted it, and people were like, "Oh, wow," because my kids are really little, and how did they manage? And like, they're just little warriors, man. Because, like, they don't know any different. They don't know any different. Like, they zipped up there, and I'm 44 years old and huffing and puffing behind them, and I'm like, slow down, guys, slow down. They're just little machines, and they don't care, man. They don't care. They'll put us to shame, Dennis.
Yeah, my oldest daughter, she actually learned how to walk on a backcountry campsite, tripping over roots, faces full of mud, and the whole 9 yards, right? So
there you go.
And even though she doesn't go out and do it by herself, she still loves the backcountry camping. We do a trip every year, the family and some friends. We do what we call it boat camping. We go up north. We have an island that we go out to, and it's roughing it, right? We're in the middle of nowhere, crown land. And
that's a phrase nobody uses anymore, Dennis, is roughing it. I like it. I like that you're bringing that back. Well done.
Yeah, there you go, everybody. Rough it right into the
roughing it. We're roughing it, folks.
We're roughing it. Got a question for you here from Pine Martin's asking, your boys, were they named after the playwright Samuel Beckett and George Eliot character Silas Marner? Only Martin would pick up on something like that. You know that.
Martin, dude, you're one literate guy, man. Yeah, you got it. So I guess Beckett was, I don't know who he was named after. Yeah, maybe Samuel Beckett. Maybe Bishop Beckett, if you know your history, Samuel Beckett, I am an English teacher. So I've got access to a lot of names in my head. So absolutely, that's kind of where Beckett comes from. And yes, Silas is from Silas Marner. If you get that, man, like you're a nerd. You're a nerd. Sorry, Martin. But that is not a very well known book. That is
I
not
hope
a very well known
Pine
book.
Martin's nemesis, Kevin Callan's not in the chat because he'll have fun with that, calling him a nerd.
Yeah,
Sure.
good for you, Martin. Good for you, man. I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's one intelligent fellow, that's for sure. I'll give you that much, Martin, for sure.
Yeah.
So you have this love for the backcountry. You've pulled together this community on Facebook through Ontario Backcountry Camping, and it's grown to quite a size. You got like what, 15,500 members?
Yep, and growing. Yep, it's still going.
Yeah.
One of the most time consuming parts of my day is like, like going through and
moderating.
I go through every application. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I try and filter out the bots, and I try and filter out, the people that we don't really want. And, and so, yeah, there's a lot of, thankfully, and I should say, I've got a second in command there, Andrew McGauley, and he really helps me out with that stuff too. So thanks, Andrew, if you're watching, bud.
So let's get into the story of Ontario Backcountry Camping.
Okay.
How long's it been around? First off, 5 years.
5 years. We just had our 5-year anniversary, and so that was a big occasion. But yeah, so Dennis, have you ever had a trip, like a canoe trip or whatever? Maybe you hike, man. I don't know, but you got a portage guy on your sign, so I guess you're a canoeist, right? So, but do you have like one trip that totally changed the game on you?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was it for me. I mean, obviously the first one that I just talked about, but me and my buddy, whose name is also Sean, by the way. So, and we're friends from high school, so that was fun. But we were going to turn 40 in a few years, and so we said, okay, he's kind of like my tripping buddy, and yes, true, Kevin, true. So we were going to plan this trip, and the Kopka it's kind of out there, man, and not too many, it's not all that well known, and I wish I wasn't talking about it so much right now because I want to kind of keep it not so well known.
Right.
But so we planned this trip, and it had some white water involved, and it was going to be I think it worked out to be 11 or 12 days, which was the longest I had done at the time. And so it was really like a step up, and so I thought, well, listen, man, I got to get ready. So believe it or not, this would have been, I don't know, 8 years ago, maybe. 8 years ago is like 1,000 years ago in internet years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And 8 years ago, I started, okay, well, I guess I got to figure out how to do all this. Now, 8 years ago, I was still camping like it was 1988. I was not connected like on the internet so far as backcountry camping is concerned. I was living in this little space bubble. And so like my packs were all from like 1988. I was still wearing jeans and cotton t-shirts, and I was still boiling my water. Like, I swear to God, man.
Yeah.
So but I jumped on the net. I'm like, all right, I gotta upgrade some of my gear here. Just mind blown. So much had changed, so much had changed, and I had so much to learn. And so I started like joining all these, backcountry camping groups and whatever, and, learning a lot and learning about water filters and lightweight polysil nylon. What the heck is that? I was just camping with blue tarps from Canadian Tire at the time. And so there's a lot.
This guy about 3 years ago.
Yeah, right. And hey, man, they're like $7.99 on sale. So, but so anyways, but so I started joining these groups, and I joined them for a couple of years, and there was a couple of things that I noticed. Number one, can I swear on here, Dennis?
As long as it's PG swear.
There's a lot of assholes out there, man.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so a lot of the conversations was just people like being jerks and whatever. And but also I started to notice that the conversations, like the groups started to like repeat themselves. You know, in spring, the conversations started to like, and I thought, I'm not getting what I want out of this. And quite frankly, I don't really like being here because it's just so negative. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to start my own. I'm just going to start my own. And I did. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna run it the way that I want to run it. And I don't really care about how big it gets or how popular it gets. I want quality people in here who know their stuff, and I don't want jerks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it. And so I started it up. And so here's the thing: I started up this group for myself. Do you know what I mean? Because I was going on this big trip.
Most people do start groups for themselves, right?
You know, like that's the reality. And I was going on this big trip, and you know, I needed to learn a whole heck of a lot, and so whatever. So I started up, and yeah, I was doing a lot of kicking in those early days. There was a lot of people who started to come in, and they started, you know what, man, if by all means, anybody who wants to join, but you know, if you're going to start, if you're just going to join because you're feeling bad that day and you need to get some stuff out and you want to call some people some names, man, this is not the place for you.
Yeah, don't be that guy, right?
Don't be that guy, because I'll kick you real fast.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's why I started the group. And like I said, I wanted to attract quality people. So I actually started to like curate some people in the beginning. You know, I started to invite the Jim Bairds and the Kevin Callens, and you know, like I started to invite these people. I'm like, hey, come on over here. This spot's pretty cool. And because I wanted to steal their tricks, man. Do you know what I mean? Like I wanted to steal their stuff. So
learn from the professionals.
Yeah, why not? And so anyways, so despite the fact that I didn't care how big it got, ironically enough, I think that made it big. Do you know what I mean? Like I kicked the people I didn't want there, if you know, and that made it better. And so it just kind of grew and kind of took a life of its own. And you know, here we are 5 years later.
Sure. Here, I'm going to pop this question up here because I think it goes right in line with what you're talking about now. So when so many Facebook groups get overwhelmed with viral comments and trolls, how do you keep it positive within the group?
You know, I don't restrain that control freak, you know, in me. And so it's just management. I'll turn comments off. I'll remove posts. You know, I will. So here's the thing. I might kick people. I might remove posts or whatever. But I try anyways, for the most part. I'm sure somebody in the chat room's gonna down, well, you were a jerk this one. Okay, sure. But I try to be respectful. Do you know what I mean? So even when I take a post down or I kick somebody, I always write a note. I'm like, you know what, man, this is why, and this is what's what. And so I just kind of shape the group into a cool group where it's just a collection of cool people. So you know, anybody who's listening, if you're in the group, you're part of the cool group, man. Well done. You know, so it's just, honestly, it's just management. And it's just making sure that the people who are in that group are good people. Like, that's it. It's that simple. People who are in that group are good people. And if you're not good people, you're not in the group. That's it.
Yeah. And you mentioned that, like with over 15,000, members in the group, you're going to get some good quality content in there. What are some things that really like come to mind over 5 years? Like I say, having that many people, you had a lot of topics that you probably had to cover or like, you know, keep an eye on. Anything memorable?
Yeah, man. The last year, Dennis.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
I'd have to try to like remember before last year, because that's my brain, probably like anybody else, whether you're running a group or not, man. Like, that's all that's been happening and is the last year. And thanks, Aries, I appreciate that. But yeah, so the last year has been crazy. And how can I put this? The group's good for me too. I'll be honest. Like, you know, when this COVID stuff started, you know, you feel so helpless. You're stuck in your house and you can't do anything. And you know, so I just kind of wanted to try and do some good. And so I started to be really strict with COVID. I didn't want people to spread misinformation in there. I didn't want people to encourage the spread of the virus. And, you know, anybody out there can think whatever you want, but, you know, this is, I wanted to, you know, put positive messaging out there and try to, you know, encourage good practices out there. And, you know, like everybody else, COVID has, you know, brought out all kinds of stuff. And so every time there's a lockdown, the group just goes, it explodes, man. And of course, most people in the group, they don't see it because, you know, I'm delete message, conversation in the background. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, so probably to people in the group, they're just like, wow, this is pretty smooth sailing. But it's it's pretty hairy, man. It can get pretty hairy. I actually, I've had a death threat, Dennis.
No kidding. Facebook group, man.
No, I had to call the cops on somebody because they threatened to come with a gun. And so that's my big story. That's my biggest story. It was some influencer who you know, tried to come on my group and just use my group to peddle their wares, and I'm like, hey man, that's not cool. And they kept doing it, so I kicked them. And that person lives just kind of outside of Killarney and was just started like they were an influencer from the hunting community, and so this person was just like, you know, I'm going to take my gun and so anyway, that was the big one, and I had to call the cops and the whole bit. And the cop came down and took my statement, and oh man, yeah, that was a big one. So what I've learned from that one. If I saw some comments like Ari's there said, you know, I'm the most, you know, respectful admin or whatever, that's learned behavior. Because when I first started and I'd kick somebody, sometimes like in the back channels, I'd kind of like get into it with people and I'd like go back and forth and, you know, in a way that I wouldn't.
The things you shouldn't need to do, right? Like you're doing this out of a passion for what you want to see yourself. And to have to defend it like that, yeah, it's kind of that he was that guy, right?
Yeah. It was a girl, actually. A girl, actually.
Oh well, but, okay. That gal.
Yeah. But so I can't. Anyway, there's a learning curve, man. There's a learning curve. Yeah. So, but anyways, by far the last year has been, so far as an administrator. Do I let people join the group that aren't from Ontario? Yeah, I do most of the time. Yeah, I do. And I think, you know, like maybe you're going to come here and, you know, you're just interested. Maybe you're planning a trip. You live out in Saskatchewan and you're coming to, sure. Yeah, you can join. I don't mind. The only people I tend to block off the bat are bots. And the way that I can tell you're a bot is you don't answer my questions comprehensively. I only have like, you know, a couple of questions. And I honestly, when you guys apply, like, I don't care what your answers are. It's just a way to filter out the bots. So, you know, I block those people. If you joined Facebook 2 months ago, I don't let you into the group because, you know, you probably, you know, if you don't have a picture and you joined Facebook 2 months ago, you're just, you're here to do something I don't like.
Generic profile.
Exactly. But I let the foreigners, the out of provincers in. Sure, if you're BC, whatever. I don't care.
So when you see you know, conversations starting, like let's say last month the big hot topic was, and it's still continuing on into now, but I think it's cooled off a little bit. It was this whole Ontario Parks pilot fee structuring system, right? I know I posted something on there, and it took off like wildfire. Do you closely keep an eye on these things, because them threads really get pretty spidery going down, right?
Yeah, you're darn tootin', Dennis. Like so. I just use the phrase "darn tootin'." So
that's rough.
You're darn tootin'. So for those of you who've seen like my picture on Facebook, you'll notice I've got glasses now. As of like a month ago. I think it's from reading all this stuff. But yeah, for sure. Oh darn, Dennis! I lost the question. Say it again.
I was just asking about, like, when you have a topic like what we had last month there with the Ontario Parks, and it gets to be a real spidery, because I had a hard time keeping track of my own post on there, because it had probably I don't know, pages and pages, and then of course they had the offshoots of replies and pages down, right, within conversation. How do you moderate something like that to try and stay on top of it?
Do you know what? Like, I let one post up, and that's it. Like, it's a notification. Like, whoever wrote it, that's cool, and it's letting people know. And then, like, again, if you're a member of the group, you probably don't see it, but every day it's pop, 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 all these posts coming up, and they're just repeating the same thing. And we all know, like, listen, we're all pissed off. We're all pissed off here. We all want to be in our canoes or backpacking or on our SUPs or whatever you want to do. We all want to be out there. We're all pissed. But you know what, man? We don't need to spend our day just being pissed about it. We don't need to spend our day, And so I let one post out, and then I delete everything else. Because, hey, man, you let us know. Thanks. Cool. We don't need to sit and bitch about it. And because there's different viewpoints about it too, right? And so there's going to be people who are like, well, it's great that the lockdown's on because we don't want to spread the virus. And then there's another person who says, my freedoms are being violated and all this stuff. And it just explodes. I don't want my group to be like that. And so if you want to do that, there's like 50 other groups out there, man. Go over there. Go over there. We're not doing that here. Let's talk about tents. Let's talk about, like, come on, man. That's what we're here for. We don't want to just bitch about it, right? So so
and you mentioned there are a lot of different Facebook groups out there, and it's obviously there's like millions of them, right? But it's a matter of finding the good ones, the ones that really make a difference. And you could always tell the groups that have moderators that care, or that actually are active and play a big role in it, because one, their size is big, and you don't see the riffraff on there for the most part.
I'll tell you this, Dennis. I'll take your word for it, because honestly, man, like this group consumes pretty much all of my whatever time I allot to Facebook. It's got 98% of it. So if you say there's lots of other groups out there, I'll believe you. Because
there are, and you know what? There's many groups that I personally part of, but there's only a few select that I actively participate in, because they're the ones that actually tweak, my interest, right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And you know what? This whole community here, this Ontario community of backcountry campers, you've named it appropriately, and it says exactly what it's all about, right?
That's it. And it's true. Like, it's nothing specifically I've done or whatever. I think it's quite frankly the quality of the people that are in the group, but it has become a community. Like, it's not just a Facebook group. People know each other, and people have established relationships with each other. And even though people may not have met face to face or whatever, like there's a real simpatico there. And it has kind of organically evolved into that. And it, like it is kind of cool. It is kind of cool the way that it's turned out. Yeah. Through nothing really that I've done other than just maintain the group. I think it's the quality of the people.
Yeah. So besides a death threat, because I guess that one kind of takes the cake. What are some of the other controversial things that you've seen on within the group? 5 years, right? That's there's got to be a lot that's come up over that time. Probably more so in the past year, like you said.
Do you mean other than Alan Drummond's comments?
Well, Alan Drummond, he's in the stream tonight there, and I'm watching him. He's throwing things around too. But no, you know what? Whatever it is. With everything, with any type of media, always comes controversy of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a he said, she said, or if it's it's a political issue, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a few things out there that have really made the hair on your back stand up, right?
Well, I will say this. So you know that canoe trip that I talked about, 1988. I was 10 years old. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Let's go.
It's kind of glared, but it's like, this is how we rolled. I'm trying to like move it to get the glare out. Like, this is how we rolled in 1988.
Yeah.
Like, tent. Look at that dumbass tent.
The old pup tent.
Yep, these canvas bags. You'll notice everybody's wearing jeans and t-shirts, and it's snowing, right? Like, this is the way that people used to roll in 1988, and now it's totally different. Do you know, like, and I'll admit, like, I've got a couple of Fjallraven pants in my closet too, and these are $200 a pop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like merino wool, like $100 a shirt. And so it's kind of like, I don't want to use the word evolved, because that suggests an upward movement, but like, it's changed, man. It's changed. And I'll admit I've changed with it too. Like, I've got Fjallraven pants too. And
back in 1988, that $200 budget was for all your gear.
Are you? Yeah. Yeah. Are you kidding? So I will say that, like, I think a lot of the tension comes out, but because of this kind of culture that has grown up around this thing that's supposed to be roughing it, right? It's supposed to be, I don't know, at least this is the way that I thought of it, when I started out. It's supposed to be bare bones and roughing it. And, and it's just, now it's turned into like an industry, and it's turned into, and again, I listen, man, I'm not judging anybody. I've fallen victim to it too. But it's kind of turned into like this image thing. And there's people, of course, who are old school or can't afford Fjallraven pants or, whatever. And, there's these people, there's the other camp who's like, it must be Fjallraven, it must be merino wool all the time. And man,
yeah,
cracks heads. I think that's where a lot of the conflict comes from, is this kind of, I won't call it elitism, but I will call it perceived elitism. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think there's a reverse elitism too. I don't think somebody should be judged negatively because they happen to have a good enough job to buy Fjallraven pants. Like, you're not a jerk just because you have nice pants.
Yeah,
and you're not a jerk.
Something like that is considered a luxury. You know what I mean? If you can afford it, it's not a necessity; it's a luxury, right?
Absolutely. So that's where a lot of the conflict comes from, I think. There's a lot of times there's this. Sometimes there's can we all just be honest with each other? There's a little bit of arrogance that comes along with it, And this is something I've tried to tamp down in the group. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've learned this from Hap Wilson. If you guys don't know who Hap Wilson is, he runs an eco lodge out of Temagami. He's been involved in the trying to preserve Temagami since the 70s. He's been one of the early forerunners in it. And this is what I learned from Hap. It's this double-edged knife where in order to preserve the wilderness, you need people in it. And listen, personally, I wish nobody was there. I wish I was there by myself. But if you want the government to preserve the wilderness, you need to put people in the wilderness to make it look like a tourism industry. And so that's the kind of double-edged knife of running these groups too.
Yeah,
there's no doubt that these Facebook groups, and I'm the I'm the engine of my own demise, but they make it popular and more people are flooding in. But that's also what's going to preserve this wilderness. And so that's kind of what we're doing too.
Hap spoke of that when he was on the show there a few weeks back. It is a double-edged sword, right? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? It's it's the things that are going to make it better that make it worse, right? So absolutely, kind of crazy. So you mentioned Alan Drummond, and in true Alan Drummond style, he has a Alan Drummond question for you. Well, everyone loves the salacious and negative things that happen. What are some of the best experiences, comments, happy stances, etc., that have happened because of the group? I'm sure a lot of good has come out of it.
Did somebody write that question for Alan? That does not sound like Alan. Did somebody jump on his keyboard? Did somebody? That's too nice. That's too friendly for Alan. He's throwing me a softball there.
I'm sure you get a couple of curveballs coming at you soon, though.
Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure there's a couple of people I've kicked who are going to come at me. Alan, you ready, Alan? Merch, Alan, merch. This is, I didn't really realize until like a month ago how positive this group was. This group, obviously, I've been running it for 5 years. It means something to me. But okay, so I got to back up here a little bit. So we had our 5-year anniversary in March, and I thought, listen, in order to celebrate this 5-year anniversary, how about we have some contests, some giveaways. Do you know what I mean? There's some people in the group who run, outdoors businesses like Alan. Thanks, Alan, for contributing. So I just kind of threw it out there, like, hey man, like, is there anybody out there who's willing to donate some prizes for this? Whoa, Dennis, like it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. I was just going to have like a silly little contest or whatever, but so many people came back that I filled 9 days of contests, and each day, like, the prizes were worth anywhere from like $100 to $400. Like they were just these massive packages. I probably could have done 20 days of prizes if I wanted to, but I wanted them to be solid, good prizes, And I realized one of the contests was to design the logo, and I kind of released those details, and people started like, well, are you going to put them on T-shirts and whatever? And this is when I kind of started to realize, like, this is kind of a community. Like, people are into this. People want to wear T-shirts. They want to like buy stickers. They do feel like they belong. And that was really for me, anyways, like a real eye-opening moment that, this group means something to me, but it means something to other people too. I think honestly, the last kind of month or two or 3 months or so far, like, I still can't wrap my head around that people want to wear T-shirts with Ontario Backcountry Camping on it.
Do you want to show a few of these things off? I got your Facebook page. No, I got your Facebook page here. Here we go.
Sure.
So, we'll flip through a couple of these things. So that's the new logo. Let's talk about the new logos. You said there's 2 of them, right?
There's 2 because we had a tie. We had a dead tie. So Nicole Shandel and Alexis Landon designed these logos, and so the idea is to keep everything in the group as much as possible. So I wanted the members to design the logos. I wanted the members to choose the logos. When we started designing shirts, I started posting pictures like, what colors do you want? Like, what styles do you want? And so, like, yeah, and there's the other one. I call that one, the previous one we call the campsite logo. This one we call the Trillium logo. It's really, this one's neat, actually. If you look at it, the canoe and the two kind of offshoots of the woods there, they form the Ontario Trillium. So other people see other things in there, but that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, people? I'm not even going to go into what other people
It's
see
not
in
three
there.
guys in a hot tub like our old Ontario.
I ain't going there. So awesome logos. Yeah, so that one is another thing. That's what I've got on the iron right now. I'm turning that one into car window decals, but I'm also turning that one into, can you go back for a second, Dennis?
Yeah, most certainly.
I'm turning that one into, some people expressed an interest in like having a canoe decal. So it's like 12-inch by 7.5 inch. You can slap it on your canoe. On that one, I just want to say this, at April 31st is when I'm closing orders for that. So if you want a sticker for your canoe, have it by April 31st. And I also want to say, I got to throw this in. When I threw this kind of idea together, there's a couple of guys, Aaron and Alexander Savati, who run the Trip Shed, and man, they volunteered to host it on their website, and they do like 80% of the work. All I do is I make stuff and I send it to them, and they do all the work. So everybody go to the tripshed.com. They run awesome guided trips. They even have a free manual on your first backcountry adventure. So go to the Trip Shed. It's awesome. So anyways, I'm doing little decals. Those are stickers. You can see the two logos there. And so I've started to design my own stuff. There's my little well hung Dennis.
Well hung. Yes.
Dennis, when you go into the wilderness, are you well hung?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't always hang, but
so so it's got the measurements in there that you're supposed to have 10 feet from the trunk and 15 from the ground, right? So that's how you know you're well hung in the wilderness, right? Yeah.
That's
so
a great idea.
Yeah. So
there you go. You have a t-shirt too.
You get a t-shirt too if you want it. Yeah. So we got t-shirts, stickers, and we'll be getting patches and buffs. And anyway, it's just, this thing's just blowing my mind, and I'm having a lot of fun like doing it and creating all this stuff. It's great. But man, that's clearly the most positive thing that's come out of here. It's not the merch. It's just the sense of community that the merch is. And Dennis, do you know this thing that when you go off on a camping trip, you're supposed to layer a lot?
Yeah.
So anyways,
I got that shirt.
So anyways, 50% of the proceeds are going to the Friends of Temagami, okay? Because we're trying to save the old growth forests. Save Solus, right? So so this is where your money goes. If you buy the merch for Ontario Backcountry Camping, Alan, merch. Alan, hey, for you guys who didn't know the drinking game that Alan started at the beginning of this, every time I say the word merch, y'all have to drink merch. So
you just coffee.
Yeah. Well, whatever your poison.
Right now, right after the slide giveaway, I crack into the beer. So.
Yeah. So Friends of Temagami, this is a brand new shirt, folks. I don't know if you've seen this one before, but this is where your money goes, to the Save Solus campaign, to save the old growth forests. 50% of the proceeds of the merch, 50% of the proceeds of the merch go towards saving old growth forests. Okay. So Save Solus. Yeah. Okay.
It looks like I can see a little blue around the collar. It means you got one more layer on.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, ladies, get your toonies out.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But I do have like designs. Dennis,
Yeah.
are not, being released to the public yet. I don't know what these designs look like, but they are designed to, number one, celebrate the return to the backcountry, wherever your first trip is planned. And they're kind of designed to be like conversation starters. So you can wear these to outdoor shows, or David Bain and Matt Olson's symposiums.
Yeah.
And those who are in the know are gonna know. Do you know what I mean? Or those who aren't in the know are gonna be like, hey man, what's that? So if you know, you know what that is. If you don't know, you're gonna ask me what that is. So it's like at these social events, it's it's just a nice little conversation.
Because I don't know what that is.
There
we go. There we go.
Okay. You might recognize, this is really hard to do because it's backwards.
Yeah.
This is about 18 miles long, and it makes an island. So does anybody know what that is? Hey, anybody in the chat window? French River, you got it.
Is that the French?
Right?
Yeah.
Here's Georgian Bay. Here's Lake Nipissing. Right?
He's doing all that because it feels good.
It does. It feels really good. It feels really good. Yeah. So, anyways, we've got some things in the iron. We got some things in the oven. So yeah. So, anyways, I'm just having a blast creating all this stuff. It's going to be fun. Oh, Daniel got it. Martin got it. Well done. Well done. Yeah. So, anyways, we're going to have a whole series, of popular places to do the backcountry camping, and whatever your place is going to be for the first one, you can buy that shirt. You can wear it to the put-in. You can wear it to the adventure shows or whatever, and hopefully you're going to meet some people and engage in some conversation and talk about the things that you love.
There you go. There you go. Oh, now where can people buy this merch off you?
The Trip Shed, right? So, yeah. So again, we've partnered with the Trip Shed. If you go into the Trip Shed's web page, if you go into their little store and you go into apparel, and you can click on Ontario Backcountry Camping, and that's where you can see the products that are there. So yeah, so I've priced the logos for as cheaply as I possibly could, that still have some kind of an impact to charity, because I want to allow our members to to wear these shirts, so I try to make them as cheap as possible so that people can express their pride or whatever and contribute to charity. These ones that don't really have much of the logo on it, they're priced at a little bit higher so that we can hopefully help the Friends of Temagami out a little bit. So they're the premium shirts, so yeah.
And you look good and look cool doing it too. Right?
Thanks, man.
That's awesome. All right, you know what, Sean? We're at about that 8 o'clock hour when I like to try and get my swag giveaway out of the way, and then we'll move back on by inviting some people into the live stream. So first thing I'm going to do is where's my invite link here?
I just got to let my cat in. Hold on.
You go right ahead. I'll go full screen and I'll let you back in a minute. There we go. So we'll get Sean back up here on screen in a moment. I'm just posting the link. If anybody would like to join us on screen and get a question in or two, or a comment or two about Ontario Backcountry Camping Facebook group, you're more than welcome to tune in with us. As I mentioned, here we are. We're going to get the swag giveaway out of the way. Tonight up for grabs, and it's going to be the same old for Canoe Hound Adventures prize pack, which is going to consist of a couple of iron-on decals. Canoe Hound Adventures, Canoe Hound's Outdoor Adventure Show. They look great on any jacket or on the back of your backpack or something along that lines, as well as a decal pack, different things that you can stick on your food barrels, water bottles, decals like this here. That's all cool stuff. We're also going to throw in a couple of things here from our friends over at Algonquin Outfitters. got a couple certificates and a decal courtesy of them as well. And that would be about it. I'm just going to bring our guest back up. See here. Let's see if we could put a little pressure on him.
Yeah.
Actually, would you be willing to give up a couple of Ontario backcountry camping decals for the lucky winner this week?
I got something. So you guys can have the shirt of your choice, whatever you want, long sleeve, short sleeve, whatever design, and I will give you one of each sticker. So you get this guy, you get this guy, and we
got to utilize the full screen for it. Oh, you guys also get something that's well hung.
Yeah, so you can see this one. So this is the well hung sticker. It's really big and it's reflective. So the idea behind this one is you slap it on your bear barrel, and I don't know about you guys, but I like to enjoy a drink or two around the campfire while I camp. And sometimes I get the munchies and I go off into the woods to try to find where the heck. Now, I'm not a hanger, just so you know. I tie it to the tree. And sometimes I can't find it. If you take your flashlight and you start shining it around, this guy's going to reflect and he's going to show you where your barrel is. All right. So you'll get each one of these stickers plus a t-shirt of your choice.
There we go, people. So that is worth answering the question for. So what I'm going to do, I got the question ready to go here. Let's see here. What I need you to do is I need you to submit your answer to me by email by Saturday at 11 p.m. That allows people that are watching after the fact to be able to get in on the contest. You can send that over to coasprize@gmail.com. And you're wondering, what the heck's the question? Did I miss the question? No, you didn't miss the question. Tonight's question is, round it up. What is the current membership count of Ontario Backcountry Camping's group on Facebook? So I'll take anything within that neighborhood. Okay, so you have to go check it out for yourself. We did mention it a couple times here earlier on the live stream, but round it up. What's the current membership count of the Ontario Backcountry Camping group on Facebook? Drop me your answers. I'll leave that question up for a minute, and we will carry back on with the conversation. Some great prizes. Yeah. Oh, and I must add, don't forget, everybody, I mentioned this last week. At the end of the season this year, I'm going to have one huge swag giveaway. And if you've already entered in any of the weekly prize giveaways, okay, you're automatically entered. If you've entered 10 different ones, you have 10 different entries. So enter often, because I can promise you at the end of the season, we just give away like a $400 plus prize package there a couple weeks ago to channel members that are members of the channel. If you want a chance, this is going to be a free for all for everybody. So if you want that chance, drop me your answer. Okay, I'll get back to you. I'll let you know if you got the right answer. So there it is. Round it up. What's the current membership count of Ontario Backcountry Camping's group on Facebook? Send your answers in, peeps. And what will happen is when we find out the winner, I will shoot you the information there, Sean, and then you can take care of that on your end.
Yep.
All righty. All good. Okay, back on with the show. So where did we leave off? We left off, I think, with Ellen Drummond's question about good things that happen.
Good things.
Yeah. Any other good things, like things that make your heart feel warm inside?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because where I am in life, Dennis. But people wanting to take their little kids out for the first time kind of makes my heart swell a little bit. There's no doubt about it. I was the little guy, like as I said, being taken out for the first time, and I'm taking my little guys out for the first time, and puppies, man, puppies. There's such a everybody's got puppies now.
Dogs. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, I'm not the most original person in the world. I also got a COVID puppy. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm super excited to take that little guy out, and yeah, everybody talking about their puppies, and John Babulik, the owner and builder of Backcountry Custom Canoes, which is also awesome. If you want a lightweight, awesome looking canoes, go to Backcountry.
I see John's in the chat tonight. Yep.
Yeah, is he? I haven't seen him. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put a little post down of his dog getting in and out of the canoe, and that's a well-trained dog, man. I am hoping that my dog is as well-trained too. So kids and puppies, man, like how does that not make you feel good, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I kind of like too, and we kind of alluded to, you know, gear and luxury gear and how gear has come along over the years. And I notice on there, a lot of people will post like a picture of a piece of gear and they'll say thoughts. And a lot of people pipe in and give advice on whether it's good or if it's bad, or maybe look at this.
Yep. Yeah. There's, I mean, that's, you know, that's a lot of our discussion is, you know, we're camping nerds, man. That's all just admitted here. We're just camping nerds. So, you know, this is what we like to talk about. And yeah, so if you do need to learn about something, shoot us a message. We are not shy, and we will tell you our opinions for better or for worse.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right.
So over the 5 years, you've got yourself up to, you know, the mystery number for tonight's question. When did the group see its biggest, like, say, spike of growth?
You know what it was, Dennis? It was the beginning of COVID.
Is that right?
Yeah, right at kind of May to June, July. The line just went, and it just skyrocketed. So, I mean, I think everybody's kind of aware of this. This has been a big topic in the groups too, is that there's just this massive influx of new campers into the backcountry, and you know, so the group reflected that as well. I was contacted by CBC and did an article with them as well about it. It was kind of big news at the time. This massive influx, which was awesome, but also led to a lot of problems, right? Because people don't really know what they're doing out there on their first times. And, you know, so there's a lot of trash and, you know, not great practices being done out there. So that was, in the spring of 2020 was a massive, massive boost. But, you know, I will say, you know, having these groups is a little bit seasonal. You know, in the winter time, it kind of goes down a little bit, and then it always picks up right around now, or just a little bit before now. And that was that. I think in a month, what was it, May or whatever, we got 1,500 members.
Is that right?
So that was a big jump. Yeah.
You always get that spike. Like if you take a look into last year, right around this time, right, was when the government said no backcountry camping.
Yeah.
And actually it was just a little before the spring season, right, before even ice was out, because everybody got in this whole tizzy that, like, you know, they were all freaking out because, oh my God, they're closing the backcountry, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the only reason why everybody was going all stir crazy wasn't because they said you couldn't, because we were kind of in that transitional period anyways, where, you know, are you really going to go out and break ice to paddle? Right.
Yeah.
But as soon as things started opening up, now we got an earlier open up this year, but as soon as things started opening up, that's when our doors opened up. Right. So really everybody got into this. And I really noticed that in your group, that people were like very vocal about the whole thing, saying, what the heck's going on? Right.
Mm-hmm.
But same thing this year.
It did. Yeah. It was almost the same timing, right? Like, here we are, everybody's just pumped to get out, and then down it comes, you know, and people, you know, they booked trips, you know, 6 months ago, and it just, it sucks, man. It sucks. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And listen, this is
because, you know what, even before COVID, not much changed, right? Because 2 years ago, I had my ice out trip planned for Algonquin, and it got pushed back by 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They kept the park closed because ice was not out yet, right?
Well, yeah. I guess you're right.
COVID. That was before COVID, right? So
I guess you're right. Like ice out trips are unpredictable at best. Yeah. So, you're right. You're right about that. But I guess probably people are also a little bit flexible when it comes to their ice out trips. They can, all right, I'll just push it to next week. Because let's be honest, and man, this is the double-edged sword about running one of these groups, man, because here's the secret. Nobody's there for ice out. It's great. Nobody's there for ice out. And like, hey man, it didn't work this weekend. No problem. I'll just go next week. And there's no booking problems. You're fine. You know, so yeah, so it does hit us hard. It does hit us hard. And like, it sucks, man. But what are you gonna do?
What did you have planned? Did you have any big plans for the spring season here?
I didn't. Do you know how much of a stereotype I am, Dennis? Man,
I don't know. We're gonna talk about the picture too, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So this COVID thing, and I bought a COVID puppy. But do you know? Do you know what I also bought? Is I bought a COVID cottage last year. You know, yeah, I bought a COVID cottage. I don't know, man. Like, is this what we do? We're just like, it's going crazy. I got to make my family happy somehow. Let's buy them cottages and puppies. So, yeah. So, but here's the thing. I'm not a rich man, Dennis. I'm not a rich man. I basically bought the cheapest cottage that you could possibly find on MLS.com.
I'm looking for one of them too.
Dude, now I was smart enough to get it. Like, I bought it in April. Like, this COVID thing hit, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm buying a cottage. And so I got a good deal on it. But anyways, it's not the nicest place around, you know, it is what it is. And it has no working toilet in it. So I have to build an outhouse. So
you're roughing it.
Yep. There's that word again. Until the outhouse is built, I'm digging a cat hole at my cottage. And that's how I'm rolling. That's how I'm rolling. Lucky, I know what I'm doing in the backcountry, and I know how to dig a cat hole. Right? Yeah. So I'm pooping in a hole at my own cottage. That's
Cheers, everybody! I just cracked one of my favorite local brews. If you can read that really quick, we'll leave it at that.
Get it? I don't think I can pronounce the rest of that online.
Get it?
I can't say it. You told me I can't say that.
Okay. Oh, you get it, but you can't say it. It took me, when I first bought one of these beers, it took me about 3 hours to figure it out. It's like,
yeah, you're not trapping me on that one, Dennis. You're not trapping. So yeah, anyways, no, I didn't have a spring trip plan because I got to like build an outhouse, you know, for 3 times the price of what it was 6 months ago.
Yeah, because you mentioned you're a school teacher, so obviously right now you're at home. Being an Ontario boy, you're at home. You're not into school teaching.
No, I'm here. I'm locked in my own prison. Yeah.
That sucks. You know what? We got a bunch of shy people tonight. Nobody has even popped into the basement. I've posted a couple times, but that's okay. We got this. That's it. So you got merch happening now with the group.
Yeah.
What do you foresee in the future? What do you have any long-term goals for
Dennis? I hate to bust your bubble as an interviewer, but like, I'm not, 50% of the proceeds, like I said.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how it works. 50% of the proceeds are going to Friends of Temagami, but that's just our first benefactor. Once we hit $1,000, we're going to choose a new one. Do you know what I mean? Every $1,000 we're going to choose. I don't know if we're going to make $1,000 or if we're going to make $2,000. Like, I really don't know. So I'm not here to start a big organization or make a lot of profit. I'm here to save trees, man, basically. And so what comes next is what the group wants. Like, I just kind of keep throwing things out there, and I'll come up with some concept, and I'll be like, hey man, you guys like that? Was anybody willing to buy this? And if people say yes, I'm like, cool, let's do this. And like whatever I can scrounge together to help preserve the wild spaces that we love to camp in is kind of what we're doing. So you know what, Dennis? I don't have a plan, man. I don't have a plan. I'm just winging it. I'm just winging it, and
you probably never thought that. Well, you said you probably never thought that the group would get this big, eh? But you know what? Earlier you asked, right? and he who asks receives, right? So I just want to welcome to the stream here. I see we got a couple in the basement now. We'll start with this individual, Mr. Alan Drummond. How you doing, Alan?
Man.
Can you hear me tonight?
Now you're gonna get it.
Can you hear me tonight?
Oh man.
Can you hear me tonight or no?
Yeah, we got you.
Unfortunately, I can.
I got one question. And I'll stay here for as long as you want or for as little as you want. What the hell's wrong with Fall Raven pants?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing, dude. Nothing. I got 2 pairs. Okay, Alan. Listen, Alan. This is how it rolls. Okay. I bought my first pair of Fjall Raven pants, and I was a little embarrassed about it. Because I was like, oh, man, I'm spending $200 on freaking camping pants, man. Like, what am I doing? I'm an idiot. And
how long ago was that?
Maybe like a year and a half.
Okay.
Maybe a year and a half ago.
So we'll talk about those pants in 15 years now.
Right? Well, this is it.
And I'm sure there's going to be people in the thing that are going to say, oh, the Army stuff and all that they get. But you're not going to get that from that $18 Costco merino wool shirt.
I know, man. But here's the funny thing. Like, I sat on them for like 8 months, and I wouldn't wear them because they're like $200 pants. And I'm like, I don't want to wreck them. They're $200 pants.
They last. You can wreck them, right? Me and Sue's Outdoor Crew, we talked about this a few weeks ago. She goes, there was a whole thing about females and sizing and all that kind of thing. And I'm like, well, even when I was at my biggest, I could fit into Lululemon stuff. And yes, men's does Lululemon. Dennis, notch it down. They make amazing pants. I'm wearing a pair right now I've had for probably 12 years. And I've worn them. Because they pack down small. They're not wick away, but they dry quick.
They make your butt look great, pal. They make your butt look great. Right? Yes, Alan.
You know what? Story about my Fjall Ravens. About a month and a half ago, out at my day camp, I was stepping over a down tree, and it had a nail sticking out of it, and I ripped down by the cuff, and I almost cried. But you know what? I bought these nice patches off of Amazon, and I did a really good job, and they look like they're supposed to be there now. So,
all right. So next time, contact the Fjall Raven store in Toronto.
Keep freezing up there, Alan.
I'll tell you where to go to get them repaired.
Yeah. Fjall Raven does. I will say this. So I bought Fjall Raven. Okay, I do love these pants, but I don't know them well enough. Anyway, I bought the model that has a lot of that stretchy material on it. Was it the Vita Pro, maybe?
Sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the stretch in it. Like, I got to say, man, I can see some comments in there, and they're like, Fjall Raven sucks. Well, yeah, okay. So, but that stretchy material did wear away, like, in the first couple of canoe trips I took on it. And I brought it back to Fjall Raven. I'm like, not really happy with this. I paid $200 for these pants. They gave me a whole brand new pair of pants. And I'm like, I don't want those ones anymore because I don't like that stretchy material. It doesn't work for me. And they gave me like the other pair of pants, like no charge. And I was like, cool. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if it's the same one, but mine have that stretchy one. And mine have the zip off ones too, but they've taken a beating.
Ooh, those are the expensive ones, Alan. Them outdoors.
I got them at an outlet or on sale or something.
Oh yeah. Fjall Raven Boxing Day sales, guys. Tune in. Yeah. I try to post them on my group, but like sometimes they're like 50% off.
Well, and that's one thing. I'm a big believer in a lot of the good stuff, but I'll never ever pay full retail, not unless I have to. There's such an amount and all that shit. So if you just wait and scavenge it and pick it up, and I know like I've never been one to find it, but Winners and all those kind of stores, people are always finding. Like, look at this Patagonia puffy jacket I got for $40 at Winners kind of crap, you know? So
hold on. Everybody is correcting me on the pants if you look at the chat. Okay, it's the Keb that has the stretch. Thank you, Mosin. And right? And Martin's like, no, man, do not have this. Okay, so I got it wrong. Like I said, I don't know. They're pants. I don't know.
Mine are blue.
And that's how the backcountry camping group works, right? Is because people educate you. It's a neat community. We've got 3 more people in the basement. Alan, if you want to pop back into the green room at the end of the show, feel free to
get down there. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to drop you down. We're going to get Norma up here on screen. We'll talk to you shortly. And we have Norma Vintage.
Norma.
Hey, I'm good. I'm good. Sean, I'm from Manitoba, and so I was the one that asked if you took out of province people in your group. And I absolutely have plans to head to Ontario for some trips once this craziness is done with.
Come on in.
And so I already actually popped over to Facebook and answered the questions, and so I'm just waiting. They're making a response.
I'll get to you. I guess I've been a little bit busy tonight with this thing, but Norma,
well, I figured so. I figured so.
Yeah, you're in, Norma.
But
awesome, it's good stuff. That's what we got to do. Awesome. We got to grow each other's communities, right? So.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of new to the backcountry thing. I'm not new to canoeing. I'm not new to camping, but I'm fairly new to backcountry. Kind of looking back, I guess I've been a couple of times, but never really realized what I was doing or where I was in terms of that this was something unique. And so now I've kind of gotten really interested in doing the backcountry stuff. So I've got some trips planned locally, but the scale of things here is not anywhere near like it is through Ontario. And so I'm going to do baby steps here and then move on to doing Ontario things. That's kind of my plan.
Yeah. You know what?
You just got yourself a new canoe we were talking about not too long ago, right?
I did. It has arrived. I met the truck in Brandon a couple of weeks ago now, and she is beautiful. And I was.
What'd you get, Norma? What'd you get?
I got a Prospector 14 Swift pack boat.
Beautiful.
And
beautiful.
Yeah. The first time I looked at it on his shoulders, just south of Brandon.
I've been in Brandon. I ate at a Chinese restaurant there. Nice little town there. But no, Manitoba's got great canoeing too, Norma. Manitoba's got great canoeing too.
Just 45 minutes from me is Turtle Mountain Provincial Park. And
awesome.
they've got a canoe route through there, that like a backcountry canoe route. It goes through, I think it's 9 lakes.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's going to be my first trip because it's so close to home.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do it up. Well, listen, you're in the group, Norma. I'll accept you as soon as this is done, and start throwing some questions. Yeah, start throwing some questions in. We'll help you out.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Like I said,
absolutely.
I'm so excited to have resources.
Poor Norma keeps freezing up here, right? Norma, thanks very much for popping in the panel, asking a question, and thanks very much for your support. I know you've been a long-time channel member, and it's greatly appreciated. So thank you much.
No problem.
Awesome. Let's get on. We got a couple more people into the basement here. I'm just going to drop Norma here. And next up on panel, we've got OG in the canoe, and then we have John. I'll be with you in a minute there, okay, bud? Mark, how you doing, my friend?
How's it going, Dennis?
What you got?
Well, what I got. So nice to meet you, Sean.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet. Honestly, I've been a member of several different channels on Facebook of camping and backcountry camping, hammock camping, this, that, and the other thing. And yours is probably one of 2 that I'm still a member of, because
thank you.
I find that the banter between people is just helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like this constant aggravation or bickering over gear and this, that, and the other thing. So my question for you is, as a moderator of your channel, where is it where you draw the line between, okay, let them fight to the death on this question, or let's cut it off and say, okay, guys, this is not appropriate?
You know what? It's just really simple. You can, if you hate Fjallraven pants, you can rip them up all you want. You can say they're crap. Well, I don't care. But if you start insulting people personally, it's like, hey guys, let's get real here. We're talking about pants. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to start ripping people up because of the pants they wear, you're in the wrong spot, man. You don't belong here. So really it's that personal attack. It's that personal attack that I draw the line on. Depending on how severe it is, I'll either turn comments off. If I think the post is valuable to people and they can get something from it, I'll just turn the comments off so that there's a record of it. If it gets like out of control, I'll shut it down and I'll remove it. I might kick the person, whatever. But honestly, it's that line is the personal attack that I don't have any tolerance for that in my group.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing with the whole, like, you know, the parks being shut because of COVID lockdown in Ontario.
Yep.
You know, like, I can understand, like, you know, having that people just voicing their opinions, but like I said, like to run the channel and say, okay, well, that's cut off, guys. Like that's not acceptable. You know. Like,
yeah. So your name is the OG in the canoe, but you're Mark, right? Did I catch that?
That's Mark. Yeah.
Okay. So Mark, yeah, man, that's a much fuzzier line. I wish there was a nice hard rule, very clear answer that I could give you, but there's not. Do you know what I mean? I at that point, I'm kind of operating on kind of how I feel that where it's going to go or where it's going to be. You know, I just got to make the call. Yeah, and it's hard sometimes, you know, it is hard. And because, you know, when you make the call and I delete the post, and as an administrator, I get this little window that comes up and I've got the opportunity to write that person a message, and I write them a message every time. Every time I write that person a message and explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And you know, a lot of times, man, it doesn't turn out good. People don't like it when their stuff's taken down. And you know, regardless of how I feel about the issue, I don't know, man. I don't want things to get worse. I don't want the virus to get worse. I don't want misinformation spread. And, you know, somebody's got to make the call. Somebody's got to make the call. If you don't make the call, we've all seen where these groups go, and it's not to a good place. And
like I said, I've left several groups because of that.
Yeah, it gets terrible. And hey, listen, man, I'm not perfect. You know, I've 100% made the wrong call sometimes. There's no doubt about it. You know, and you know, I've done my best to make amends or apologize, invite the person back in or whatever once they explain things. But you know, I got to make the call, and I make it to the best of my judgment, and I try to best that I can. Sometimes I get it right, and sometimes I get it wrong. You know, but somebody has to draw the line, because if you don't draw the line, it's just chaos, man. It's just chaos.
And if I could add to that too, Sean, you know, the worst thing, as you may feel the same, the worst thing as a moderator for something like your group, or for anybody that runs any type of social thing, is having to try to resolve or trying to step in front of these conflicts or things of non-interest, I guess we can call it, right? We don't want to do that. You know what I mean? We don't want to. We don't want to be considered to be the bad person, right? But you know, it's something that we have to do because, you know, we do this type of thing, right?
Yeah, and you know, this is probably shooting myself in the foot here, but I'm also, I think I said before, I'm also a teacher, so you know, I'm used to being the bad guy, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? When I'm in the classroom and I'm enforcing rules, and like, sorry, man, but that's just the way that it is. Like, I'm used to that. I'm over that. Yeah, I can be the bad guy. I'm fine, because I know that collectively everybody benefits from it. And if I'm the bad guy, that's okay. That's cool. I don't mind.
Well, honest, I think a good analogy that I just thought of is like, I used to be a DJ back in the day with my buddy, and you can't get everybody on the dance floor. You can't please everybody all the time.
Nope.
Way to put it. People that aren't happy, and that's what's going to happen.
That's it.
But
that's right.
Props to both of you, because I love your Facebook group, and
thank you.
Your show, Dennis, and you guys are like, you're keeping the community together, because we all, you know, either connect on Facebook or, you know, here every Tuesday night, and you guys do an awesome job. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you popping on. You know where the green room is. We'll talk to you a little later.
All right. Take it easy.
Hey, my friend. Thanks very much. And then I think the last person we have in the basement down here right now, we have, you mentioned him earlier, John. How are you doing today, John?
Hey, dude. How's it going?
John.
I just wanted to call you from my meager canoe shop and say thank you for promoting a whole pile of sort of small businesses like mine, and at least even giving them some equal airtime at the very least, and letting people, like, I mean, I buy stuff on Amazon and I'm for sure not, you know, as conscious a consumer as I'd like, but from the perspective of a small business, I look at it and say, geez, you know, it's just really hard to get a voice out there.
Well,
so
I'm gonna own up to something between me and John there. John, you probably remember this, but John and I have become friends over this group. I think I can say, John, and there was an early point there where, you know, somebody was just asking some random questions about canoes, and I started spouting off about Swift and Novacraft and Surrey River, and John kind of sent me a private message after that. And he's like, you know, hey man, like, you're supposed to be, you keep talking about being all about small businesses, man. And like, and I thought that was kind of like, I don't know, that was like maybe a year or two into the group. And I thought, yeah, you know what? You're right, man. You're right. And I kind of ate a piece of humble pie that day. And you taught me a lesson, John, and man, and I'll be grateful for you forever for that. But you know, it is like these groups, they're so good at bringing attention to awesome small business outdoor products and services. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just a forum to help everybody. Like these groups can do good. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to do with this merch. You know, like I'm trying to do good here, and I'm trying to promote small businesses, and like
I'm trying to do good with my merch too, so I can buy some beer.
It better be good, man. It better be good.
Hey, John, while I got you on here, I just want to ask, so how are things going for you with the business? Obviously, are you pumping the canoes out at any faster rate right now? Or
just so you know, hold on. While you guys talk, I'm just going to take a 2-minute break.
I'll drop you down and I'll put you back up when you
keep chatting for 2 minutes.
All righty. Yeah, how are things going over there at Backcountry Canoes?
Oh, it's I mean, I'm sold out for this year, but mostly because you can't bring any help in during a lockdown.
Right, true.
And not, you know, I'm a divorced guy, so we share custody. So now I'm adding, you know, one more person into the bubble, or making a decision maybe not to see my kids for a while so I can have someone work here. And it's just not something I'm willing to do. I do this so that I can hang out with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, busy like you wouldn't believe. Tons of, you know, I'm sold out as into the foreseeable future and then some. And this year from last year, the big difference is they figured out how to ship stuff again.
Right.
You know, like I would be wanting one sort of particular kind of screw because it's the best screw you can use. And it'd take 6 weeks to get, and now I can get it in like 3 days. And all the shipping stuff has come back to normal. So it's nice that way. It's sort of taking the stress off of last year's, you know, it seemed like it was just one delay caused by shipping after another. You know, the cedar mills on strike, or like it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And that stuff has been resolved. So at least you can keep working on a thing like this. But there's no end how busy it is. I mean, you know,
you probably wish you had about 10 of you, right?
Well, you know, I couldn't stand it if there was even one more of me in the room.
None of us could, John. None of us could.
I did a 6-day solo trip.
That's all right.
And I walked all day with a freaking canoe on my back because I'd had enough of myself after about day 4.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's good to know you're still busy though.
Oh, it's crazy. And,
yeah.
Hey, John, once this COVID thing's over, man, I'm coming over to your house and you're going to teach me a couple of things about
don't come in those fancy Fall Raven pants. I can't.
Damn right I am.
I just, you know what? I live in a world where everybody has Fall Raven pants. My friend, you know, and Patagonia and all the good gear, because
you live in Guelph, man.
I'm totally guilty of that too. But Fall Raven pants to me represents the very last thing you should buy.
And Tilly hats, John.
Oh yeah,
And Tilly.
Get me started about Tilly hats.
Dude, yeah, but you know I wear a Tilly hat, right? Like I don't really care what you think about them. I've been wearing them since I was 10 years old. They work awesome, and they've become this negative thing. But I was wearing them 30 years ago, man. I don't care. I don't care.
I was wearing one 30 years ago too. And the thing about the Tilly hat isn't necessarily it's the Tilly hat in the bush. It's when you go to the Backcountry Canoe Symposium and there's 6 guys wearing Tilly hats in April in Kitchener.
I won't wear my Tilly to the symposium.
You can't be married to your gear like that, man.
All right. I understand that.
Like,
I understand that.
There's no point in the winter time where you should show up wearing a bandana if you don't need it.
Yeah.
You know, or a sash. Like, it's just
correct.
It's a little out there for me.
Yeah.
You know, I look at it like, I think I'm always afraid that some of that complexity is going to scare people away. Like, you guys started by talking about how, you know, $200 with your whole kit for, you know, I my first tent, $20 at Woolco.
Yeah.
You know, and
Woolco.
Woolco and Sudbury. My grandfather slipped me $20 on Easter. He gave my little sister $5, this bastard. But I got a tent for $20 and she got the fly for $5.
Very nice. Very nice.
That was what it cost to go camping. And it doesn't, you don't need sort of fancy pants or a crazy expensive boat, because a Grumman will get you to the snowstorm. It gets you a ticket to the party, you know.
Yeah.
So,
and John's boats are cheaper. You don't need a crazy expensive boat. Buy John's boats. There's your plug, buddy. There's your plug.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how I sort of view the thing. I'm always afraid that it's gotten so complicated, because I have people that come into my shop who are new to it, and they're just baffled. There's so many different perspectives on how to do it, and that's what's cool. But you shouldn't prioritize, you know, pants over extra gauze and a first aid kit and a good maybe water purifier if you're gonna be drinking out of swamps. You know,
YouTube is YouTube, John. YouTube is YouTube.
Or just get a little fat like me, and then you don't have to bring the water filter. You can just drink 10 pounds every time you're wrong.
Yeah,
that's why I say
who needs merino wool when you got
luxury? Yeah. So some items, hey man, people used to do a lot more with a lot less back in the day, right? There's a lot of things now. You know, my backpack, even though things have gotten lighter, has gotten heavier over the years from the stuff that I used to carry back in my early days of camping, right? Because, like, you know, back then we never brought a lawn chair. We'd set our behinds on a rock or on a tree stump. Right now we got these fancy little folding and chairs and stuff that are lightweight. Luxury or necessity, right? Well, it's luxury, right? Plain and simple.
Of course it is.
You know, boiling water versus a water pump, right?
Most campsites these days, well, not these days, they always have, but, you know, they got some big log around the fire. You just sit your ass down. That being said, I've got a fancy Helinox chair. You know what I mean? Like,
so do I.
Hey, man, it's comfy. It's comfy. Sorry.
I don't have a problem with that stuff, because I know you got a barn full of boats and all the stuff refined to the point where you go, you know what, this year maybe I'll add a lawn chair. But if you start with the lawn chair,
you're toast.
You're toast, right? That's the wrong kind of priority. So
right, Joe?
Joe says it here perfect, right? He remembers buying budget gear back in the 80s, $25 tent, $20 pack, etc., and had just as much fun back then too, right?
So and you know, if you took care of that stuff, I still have that tent.
Yeah, back then they made that stuff.
I mean, tarp
to last, right?
Plastic tarp floor. What's going to go wrong, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you had to be a genius to set it up in just the right spot to stay dry.
Well, then how'd you get through, John?
I got wet a lot, man.
That's my boy. That's my boy, John.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, you know what? We're getting ready, getting pretty close to wrap up. I put last call on the screen to see if anybody else wanted to pop in. Nobody else popped into the basement. I know Ellen wants to pop up for a minute. He had something that he wanted to mention as well. John, I'm going to drop you down in the basement. Feel free to stick around for the green room after the show.
Cool.
Okay, and we'll get a little more chit chat in there and a couple of beverages, I'm sure. So
It's getting a little hot in here, though, guys. Like,
here we go, ladies. Get your toonies out.
A little hot in here.
That's all right. Just going to bring Alan Drummond back up for a minute here. Hey, welcome back, sir.
How many times tonight did I have to watch you?
Is he frozen?
Am I frozen?
No, that's you, Dennis. He's not frozen on my end.
No?
No. Uh-oh. Is Dennis having another night?
You're good, Al. You're good.
All right. So Dennis can't hear me, but you can.
Oh, I got him now. All
right, there we go. Okay, so Dennis is having issues again. Oh, that's funny. I just wanted to bring up, me and Josie were talking about this earlier today, and I've talked about it with a couple other people earlier in this week. Another hot topic that's been a hot topic in the group this past year is the app What 3 Words. Right? And I was involved in a very real, very urban rescue scenario on Friday evening last week where What 3 Words would have saved, not a lot of time, 30 seconds or so, but it would have saved time. I was in the middle of a forest in the middle of Mississauga, and it was just figuring out, trying to tell dispatch where we were because we'd come across this lady who'd fallen off her bike, hit her head, and we needed medical attention in the middle of a forest. The guy who was on the phone with 911 didn't even know how to figure out the GPS on his phone. As Josie and I were talking earlier, it's like my Google Maps comes up one way, my Apple Maps comes up another way, the compass on my iPhone comes up another way. Whereas What 3 Words, it's also another way as well. But unfortunately, Peel 911 doesn't subscribe to What 3 Words, but it OPP does, and some other jurisdictions do. But it's definitely, I know it's been a controversial thing in the group this past year, but it could have saved some seconds of somebody with a head injury's life on Friday. So it's a good tool to have that takes up no space. So that's all really I had to add to that.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Alan?
So
is that a free app?
Yeah, so what I've learned from it, because as everybody knows, on any issue, I like to bring a different tack sometimes to something. Sometimes it sounds like it's on the other side, but it's before I speak, I try to get as much info on something as I can. And What 3 Words is an app that was developed in the United Kingdom, and it's a search and rescue app. So what it is an app on your phone that has divided the world into, and I may say some mistakes here, and I'll own them, 3-meter squares. So the whole globe is divided into 3-meter squares, and each of those 3-meter squares, or about 10-foot squares, it has 3 words associated to it. And you call 911, you call search and rescue, VHF radio, whatever, and you say, I'm at couch, trestle, nail, and they put in couch, trestle, nail into their system, and they know within 3 square meters where you are on this planet. Rather than going to Google and going, okay, it's 26.798768, or going to GPS and doing lat long. And some benefits from that is phonetically words are easier to understand. So, I forget which words I just used, but like couch, trestle, nails. Did I nail it? I might have. Yeah. It's easy to interpret those. It's also easy for a dispatcher to type those out to forward on to emergency responders, or to say to emergency responders, rather than dispatcher hearing from me a string of numbers, copying down a string of numbers, and then now relaying them through either text or voice a string of numbers. So it has been picked up by some national and international rescue organizations. It's just another tool in the toolbox to use. So and it's kind of neat, it's like, I remember one night me and Sean and Derek compiling with radio, we're just playing around with it, like naming 3 random words and seeing where in the world it was, kind of thing. Like I did Kingdom Outdoor Products, and it didn't have all 3 of those words, but it had similar words in Michigan. I think it was. I'm like, oh, that's pretty close to home, actually.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool app. It takes up no space at all on your phone, and there is some misconception about whether or not it works with or without cell service. It does work with cell service. Unfortunately, you can't call anybody. But if you have one of the new Spot or Garmin's or whatever that are the InReaches that connect to your cell phone, you can definitely text those 3 words out, or VHF radio. You could do it if you're in the middle of Jordan Bay or Lake Superior or something, because the app downloads all the words onto your phone in a file that's not very big, and it uses GPS then to locate you.
Interesting, very interesting. It's amazing what they come out with these days for safety measures. But I've heard of that app. Actually, I think I heard you speaking of that app on Paddling Adventures Radio.
We have discussed a long time ago. Yeah. Like Sean, let me see where Sean is right now, because I know where Sean lives. No, I won't tell you where. I won't tell you his living.
There's a cemetery nearby, Alan.
So nearby Sean is Groom Zealous Rollers.
There you go.
That's a couple miles down the road. So obviously Sean needs some grooming. Needs a little more zealous in his life.
Oh my God. I haven't had a haircut in a year, folks.
I haven't had one in like 6 months. Look at this mess.
Right?
That's the one thing I got to do too, Sean, is I got to pop up the banner from or the thumbnail from the show there, and let's see. You quizzed me on it to see if I noticed anything different about the thumbnail.
What's up? Let's see.
You remember you asked me. Let's see here. Let me pull that up here.
Oh,
right here. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Anybody notice anything peculiar about Sean on this?
Well, everybody can notice something peculiar about Sean, but be a little bit more specific about what's in my hand. And there's a little joke going on there. Let's see who can. That would be a good trivia one right there, Dennis. Actually.
Yeah. Can anybody see it? Anybody see it?
It's a dad joke.
Focus on his
man.
hand. Focus on his hand.
Total dad joke.
Yeah.
You're
like camping dad joke, though.
Go ahead. Give him the deets on that.
Well, what I'm holding in my hand is a little plant that hangs off of usually spruce trees called Old Man's Beard. And you can use it. You can use it as a good fire starter for those who don't know. But if you're using ferro rods and things like that. But yep, I'm an old man, and there's my beard, and I'm holding up Old Man's Beard. That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Come on, everybody, put a clap in there. Okay, before we call an end to tonight's show, fellas, I do want to do one quick poll here in the chat, and I just want to see, out of curiosity, put a number 1 in the chat if you are already a group member of Ontario Backcountry Camping, and if you are not, put a number 2. I'm just curious to see how many people in here are actually part of your group.
Let's see.
So,
let's see how it
we'll
goes.
see them numbers flood through. I already got a couple ones, right? Oh, and I see somebody that's not even from Ontario, so that's okay. But there we go. Yeah, the one.
I know those guys.
Yeah, when you got over 15,500.
Hey, there's my wife. She's watching.
members.
Look at that. She's hiding out somewhere in the house watching.
There you go.
There you go. Hi, everybody. Scott, out and about. Come on in, man. Join up.
Yeah, so I'm not even seeing many 2s. Oh, there's
Look at Ari.
Adam, you got to get yourself all into that group, man. It's a very good group. Very, very good resource for anybody that enjoys the backcountry. And if you're not a part of it, by all means, get on there and join the fun, man. Join the conversation. There's a lot of great topics on there, and you have nothing to lose. It's totally free unless you buy great swag.
And Alan,
yes,
buy some merch.
There you go.
I will.
Dude, where's your drink? I just wanted you to drink.
I already finished my Irish whiskey. That was gone ages ago. You know how many times you said merch? That didn't last long.
I know.
I'm on H2O now.
Oh, man.
All right. Anyways, fellas, we're going to draw this show to an end. Alan, I'm just going to drop you back down in the basement. Stick around for the green room. We'll see you in a few minutes. And, we'll close things up here. Sean, thanks very much for joining us here on this Tuesday night. It takes a little bit of time out of your day, but I think we've reached a few people, right?
Thanks for having me, Dennis. This is my first live public appearance. I've been like this little hermit on the internet, so here I am.
Go, man. We popped your cherry, did we?
It's that time of the evening, folks.
All good. So to everybody in the chat, if you are not familiar with Ontario Backcountry Camping, you can find the links to Sean's social medias down in the description of this video. You can check that out at any time. Earlier on in the show, I also posted, I just wanted to make sure that everybody has the opportunity. Frontenac Outfitters is doing a great giveaway of like $750 worth of, and we'll call it today for sake of luxury gear, right? All kinds of stuff.
Right.
$750 worth of great gear. Here is the link if anybody wants to get over there and get entered. It's a totally free draw, like drawing. You have ways of gaining extra points and stuff like that, or extra ballots, I guess you could call them. So get on there, check it out. Like I say, he's got some really cool sleeping pads and mattresses and life jackets, all kinds of neat stuff that he's giving away there. So by all means, please do check that out. To everybody in the chat tonight, thanks very much for tuning in. It's always a great pleasure to have you here joining us on a Tuesday evening. Next week, if anybody tuned in last night to Kevin Callan's Whiskey Fireside chat, he had 6 young fellas from Canoe for COVID. Basically, they paddled over 2,000 kilometers across Ontario to raise money for food banks and things like that during this COVID outbreak. They successfully did the whole trip, and 6 very inspiring young gentlemen. They're going to be our guests on the show next week. So if you want to learn more about their journeys, they have their first episode is out on YouTube now. Just look up Canoe for COVID, and you'll see their first one. Get to know them through that first video, and then come and ask them some questions next week. So that's going to be a fun show as well, just like tonight's show. Always a good time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. By all means, do not forget, May 1st, the bidding starts for the Camp for COVID, or not Camp for COVID, for Tori's G1 fundraiser. By all means, link is in the top left-hand corner at the top of the chat there. Click on that. It'll take you to the Instagram feed. Go on there, May 1st, bid on some of those fantastic prizes that they have on there. It's going to a great cause, so check that out as well. I think that's about it, everybody. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Please do hit the thumbs up. You know what? Not a lot of people realize the importance of hitting a thumbs up on a live stream or any YouTube video. It really shows that interaction with YouTube really shows YouTube that, you've taken the initiative to at least interact with the video in some way, shape, or form. So by all means, if you enjoyed tonight's show, what's there not to enjoy with this great guest I had over here tonight? Hit that thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. And that would be about that. So anyways, everybody, I just want to say thank you very much once again, and we will see you next week, and keep the adventures alive. Take care.